Good evening, everyone. Today's adventure starts with Akamal, and we're doing the assistant and the wine. Where is that boy? You, on your way here, did you happen across a young man about this tall, carrying a crate? Goes by the name of Balhax. No, he should be here by now. We will not have enough wine for arena goers at this rate. If you would like some extra coin, I will pay you to find him for me. First, you should make sure he's not already at the arena's northwest entrance. There's a crate and a puddle. You find an unattended crate leading some kind of liquid. The crate holds bottles of wine sourced from local shops. You spot a trail of wine droplets leading northeast. Let's follow the wine. What? Passed out. Despite your best efforts to wake him, the system seems to have fallen into a deep sleep. Next to him lies a discarded empty wine bottle. The glass on its side has cracked. Perhaps this was what caused the puddle next to the crate. Rather than let the wine go to waste, Balhax might have run off to drink the rest. It might be the kindest to let him continue sleeping while you report back to Akamal.
What do you want?
After you relay the story of Balhax and the wine, Akamal huffs in amusement. I am equal parts disgruntled, amused, and impressed. He managed to drink a good amount of wine before falling asleep. Thank you for checking on him, and for giving me a story to tell my friends. For now, however, it is time that I woke him. He has a mess to clean up.
There is much to be done and fewer hands by which to do it.
The adoring fan. Are you here to see the hulls too? I never have time to watch the fights nowadays, so I come to at least catch a glimpse of them. My favorite is Perida Iron Edge. I used to go to every one of her matches. The way she fights, she stops, red coloring her cheeks. Sorry, I did not mean to ramble. I had hoped to weave a vine circlet for Ferida, but the gardens have seen me take from the trellises one too many times. You, though, you are a fresh face. If you're willing to aid me, the trellises on the eastern side of the pool always have the best vines. Don't let the gardener catch us. Sure, he's got his back turned. Oh, so they can't even see you, period. Okay. How am I supposed to get around? I'm hiding. Alright, I got them all. Time to go back.
What news has come in with the tide?
Verda is just over there. Quick, give me the vines and I shall weave as fast as I can. The instant you hand her the vines, Asna's nimble fingers go to work. Within a short amount of time, she holds out an impressive circlet made of vines. I cannot give this to her. My nerves are getting the best of me. Please go in my stead.
Fair winds to you!
Before you can utter a single word, the Hulas politely holds up a hand to stop you. This is from Hasna, is it not? I noticed she stopped coming to watch my fights, but she has always been there for me after. Even if she has been too nervous to approach me, she chuckles. It's very sweet of you to help. Now, I do believe it is time for me to talk to her, so if you will excuse me. Alright, let's go work our way back northwest. Because yesterday we just kind of rode through all of this. Okay, here's the next quest.
What news has come in with the tide?
Recording recollections. May I have a moment of your time? You see, I am compiling accounts of Umbar's recent past. I've not finished this current interview, but I promised to talk to 3 others in the Tor Gardens today. It would not do to leave them waiting. If you would be willing to interview them and take notes, I could pay you. The old Haraf Amina works at the Din of the Arms to the southwest. Sofan waits by the gate of steps to the south, and you can find Nur to the southeast outside the Dahal Hulus.
Fair winds to you!
My childhood memories before Mut-Tadul and the Dead of Light are hazy, but Mut-Tadul itself, I remember as clear as water. Ordak soldiers flooded the streets, tearing down banners of all colors as they went. The cries and the screams of people echoed around me. Umbar burned. My family ran to the docks in hopes of fleeing by water. When we beheld the burning remnants of ships that had attempted to do the same, we could only turn back. Many good people died that day. Some days I am still there and Umbar is still burning. As a harif, I have spun countless stories for eager listeners. This is not a story that I enjoy telling, but is one that must be told. It must be remembered.
Leave me to my sorrows.
When the riot started, I joined along with other Hulus. Too long had we been used the air's executioners. Perhaps it was the rush of finally fighting back, but I knew we would succeed. After all, we outnumbered 1,000 power. Some of my fellows died, believing they had helped change things, and they did. But I watched as the kindred replaced the heirs. I watched as our most vulnerable citizens continued to suffer, just in different ways. And I wonder what the future holds in store for Umbar, if anything else will change. I no longer fight as a Hulas. I cannot bear it.
Too much blood has been shed in Umbar.
The colorful banners around the city still surprise me every day. When will I get used to it? I do not know. But I wish Mother and Father were here with me to see this. Worshippers took them from our home. If our neighbors had not found and hidden me, I would have burned along with them. I survived only because I was lucky. I hate feeling like that. The church may be gone from Umbar, but its shadow still exists.
There is much to be done and fewer hands by which to do it.
Thank you, traveler. These accounts are not the ancient texts that many of my colleagues seek, but they are just as important. History tells us of how Umbar was passed from empire to empire. The church may have tried to purge the past, but simply look around and listen. Not everything was destroyed. The Numenorean and Hamati architecture, the sounds of Umbari, Western and Ordaki words, the people and their stories. We were here. We still are.
Do you have need of something?
Opinions on xerba. Psst, you there! Quickly, before I am caught talking while working. I want to collect opinions on this drink I brewed. I named it xerba. No alcohol in here, I promise, just fruit and spices. Could you offer samples to people wandering the gardens and see what they have to say? I swear there is never enough time for me to do anything other than work. Not too sweet? Good. It is pleasant, but why is a wine shop apprentice brewing without alcohol? There is a hint of the name just on the tip of my tongue. The amount of fruits used is almost overwhelming. Almost. Wonderful. Just the thing for those who avoid alcohol.
There is much to be done, and fewer hands by which to do it.
Oh, I almost thought you would just run off and drink all the xerba yourself. It would not be the first time. Thank you. This is all very useful information. Ah, sorry, I must get back to work. Okay. Guess we're just gonna go follow this road back and see wherever it might take us. Okay, there's some quests up here.
Umbar can be a dangerous city, friend.
Trouble for the pot and quill. Those airsworn have some nerve lingering in the city. The scholars who come to my establishment have suffered enough. They do not need more reasons to fear for their safety. If you decide to teach those fools a lesson, well, I would be happy to pay you. It is hard to miss them. They lurk around the wreckage of the old academy and scriptorium to the northwest.
Is it too much to ask for a moment of peace?
I can only hope the airsworn will stop darkening my doorstep from now on. If they continue pushing their luck, they shall find themselves at the bottom of a watery grave.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Buried knowledge. It was not so long ago when enforcers of the All-Seeing guarded the northwestern ruins. Having the airsworn as our new neighbors is an improvement, but not by much. Kamir Kateb held untold amounts of historical knowledge. Surely there must be something left in the rubble still, something the church would have never considered important enough to be destroyed. If you discover anything of note there, please let me know. It may be foolish of me to hope for, but this city has already lost so much. Hope is all that keeps us going. I'm gonna take the next one as well.
Fair winds to you.
I think it's gonna be in the same zone. Scattered history. Stay clear of Darjaruf to the northwest, if you can. The Airsworn there stole my belongings. Not that they would deem any of it valuable. I was only carrying historical texts on pigments. Copies, I mean, not the originals. You see, I've been attempting to recreate colors that were lost during the church's rule. The scholars spent innumerable hours copying those texts for me, and I do not wish to see their efforts go to waste. The texts must have been left to scatter to the winds. Should you find any, please return them to me. I'm gonna have a feeling that this person is gonna have a similar request.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Books for the board. Will you be passing through the southwest part of the district? Nope, that's a different location. Okay, we'll come back for that one later. Well, southwest would be in that zone as well. Okay, let's just pick it up because I don't want to be running back and forth all day long.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Will we be passing through the southwest part of the district? I meant to bring some books to Shakara at Dar Tabib, but he frowns at the stack of papers in front of him. I have some research to attend to, unfortunately. People all over the city have been kind enough to donate books to us in our recovery efforts. Some are common enough that we can spare copies for the healer's patients. I'm sure they would be thankful for some to chase away their boredom. Searching through rubble. Yay! Found that. There's some scholarly texts. Hey, Ruthmer, I'm doing well. How about yourself? Okay, may as well go turn these two in. Nice, yeah, I'm hoping to get back to Return to Moria pretty soon, but Lucho's kind of got me occupied at the moment, trying to get all the new quests indexed. Hopefully we'll be wrapping that up this week.
Good day to you, traveler.
Buried knowledge. What is left of the ink looks dull brown, but I do not think it started out as this color. The years and the elements have not been kind. The label on the bottle, much of it has fallen off, and the script on it has faded, but these are Uruk-hai characters, not Umbari ones. This was not a pigment of Umbari origin, that much is certain.
Fair winds to you.
Scattered history. Not a page is missing. Thank you. And I am sure to speak for the scholars as well. Virtue capped reached. Let's change that out to the next one. Okay.
Fair winds to you.
Illumination. I cannot surmise much else from this ink bottle without dedicated study. Unfortunately, having more questions than answers is only natural in my vein of research. History is always fragmented and difficult to piece together. The church's burning of our archives only exacerbated our restoration attempts, but I did not come to the Tor Gardens to sulk about research. I have erected a shrine to further deface. Why not join me there? Should you spot a blight of black among the buildings to the south, you will know you have found the shrine. Yeah, it's definitely a large expansion. There's over 350 quests. I'm probably done about 90% of them now. And it's nice to have a whole new zone to explore. Alright, here we go.
Fair winds to you.
There you are! Behold! Ramati reaches into a sack and pulls out a banner. At first glance, the banner is simply pink. But then the cloth shifts, and you realize at certain angles the color transforms. Blue, then purple, then pink again. The scholars and I spent months researching this pigment. Budulek, it is called Dawn Sheen. When Khmer Katept burned down, the recipe burned with it. The scribes and scholars who have held that knowledge met their ends at the church's hands. I came to the shrine to hang up the banners, but she gestures to the flagpoles before you and grins. Would you like to do the honors instead? I could be persuaded.
Umbar is a free city at last.
For as long as I can remember, our buildings were always draped in black. The church did not allow any other colors to be displayed. A silly thing to concern themselves with, perhaps, but hasn't it always been about control? That is why the scholars and I continue to do our research. With every color we return to the city, we spit in the faces of tyrants who tried to control us. And come with me, the people of Umbar will endure. They did really good. Look, it's now blue, and then it turns purple and pink. I really like how they did these flags. Depending on which angle you stand, it changes color as well. They did really good with that. Alright, now let's go do books for the board. Let's not fall into the river.
Do you have need of something?
Basham must just be as busy as us to send someone in his stead. The patients remain bore grievous injuries from the fightings months ago and must stay under our supervision. As you can imagine, there are very few sources of entertainment here, and many have become listless. Some cannot leave their beds, others can only wander around the apothecary grounds to break up the monotony. Would you mind handing out the books? It would do our patients some good to see a new person rather than the same healers every day. May the scholars continue their hard work. I feared I would die of boredom instead of my wounds. Oh, and that's gonna remote complete. Nice. That's good, because I gotta pick up this one over here.
What news has come in with the tide?
Aiding the healers of tabib. I have some fresh medical supplies that need to be distributed among the healers in and around the building. Could you assist me with this task? I would be happy to pay you in advance. You have my gratitude and our patience, of course. I was worried. Thank you, stranger. Your assistance is timely. This will be of much help. Just as I ran out, what a relief. Guess that's done. Let's get back to the road. On the road again.
What a mess this is. As a representative of this fine community, I cannot allow this to stand.
Dehebix speaks for the community. In Umbar Barabel, we care for our own. It is true in most districts of the city, but it is more true in the upper ward than anywhere else. If a merchant loses his stall or his goods to the actions of an undesirable few, the others band together to see that he is made whole, and the wrongful parties are dealt with. That is why we must do something about the upstarts who have taken over the Raven and Albatross. They tried to send a message to the proprietor of this inn, the House of Twisted Vines, by ruining some of his prized trellises, as you can see. But this cannot go unpunished. I am a representative of the community here in the upper ward, and my name is dehebix. I speak for myself, but more importantly, I speak for the community. For the sake of its people, you will tell me what you know about these upstarts. You did not see the attack? Then I shall count upon you to mete out the justice that is required. The upstarts that did this can be found fortifying the Raven and Albatross here in the upper ward. They will not be afraid to kill you. I am afraid, but the community will reward you if you risk this danger.
Those louts will think twice before crossing the golden hand.
My associates have sent word of your deeds to me, and I approve. Those upstarts will think twice before crossing the Golden Queen again, and if they do, they know what will happen to them. Did I not say before that I am an agent of Lady Harmelech? I believe I made it clear to you that I represent the community of the Upper Ward, and if you're to spend time here, you must know, or must learn, this simple truth. Lady Harmelech is the Upper Ward. It is her coin that remunerates you now, and her favor you have earned. Cherish it, for it is of great value. Just running around looking for more rings.
Good day to you, traveler.
Quartermaster.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Yeah, okay. Finally found where I need to get the recipes for the scrolls. So it's from the quartermaster in that location. You can also get Seafarer's Humble Essence boxes from him. And then a lot of housing stuff. More crafting recipes. Looks like they also got cook recipes. And others. I wonder, can I now make... Can make my battle lore and warding lore. Nice. And then I'm looking for my hunter bow chance. I usually don't have anyone equipped at the moment. I think I usually do. No, hunter box is what I'm looking for. Let's say Whispered Secrets gives you bow skills, finesse, and physical mastery. And that one gives you physical mastery and crit rating. I kind of like the crit rating one more. Minus 8% bow skill power cost. That's nice. Oh, both of them gives that. Alright, we're probably going to do this one, but I need a red sea stone. Those, I've heard, are really hard to come by. Alright.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Rest and relaxation. Welcome to the baths of Cadex, traveler. Can you find it in yourself to relax within their soothing waters? You need not submerge, but if it does help you to do so, and you can hold your breath, I encourage you to do what comes naturally. This is my challenge. You can enter the baths, sit, and then empty your mind of all the day's stressful workings. Can you relax for even 2 minutes? If you can, I will reward you. But such practice can be its own reward, I assure you. However, if you leave the baths too soon, I will not be surprised, but I will be disappointed. I guess this is the baths. And now I need to sit. And it's really gonna make me sit for 2 minutes. Well, while it makes me sit, I'm gonna go get something to drink. I'll be right back. Yay, I made it all the way. And I got some snacks.
Fair winds to you!
I'm impressed with you, my relaxed friend. I did not think you would be able to do this. Folk are always running here and there at great speed, their errands bringing them from one corner of the city to the other, and then back again. But is it not important to slow down, take a deep breath or two, and enjoy the experience of living? It is, my friend, it is. I encourage you to do so more often, and come back to the baths of Kaddaks whenever you like. I'm gonna explore this region some more now. Hey, here's Elrohir.
My brother and I were walking through the lower ward of the city when a man approached us.
The city. Watched and watchful. My brother and I were walking through the lower ward of the city when a man approached us and said he had information for the two of us. I do not know if he speaks the truth, but we should hear what he has to say. If we are watched, we will be watchful too. It is the wise course, is it not?
I told Elrohir I do not trust this man, but that is not enough for us to refuse him.
I suspect he would need many men indeed to get the better of us. Will you join us when we go to speak with him? He suggested a location far to the east, beside one of the farms outside the city. Okay, I guess we're gonna go outside the city now.
We are about to see if this is a trap.
But what is of most interest to me is learning if the predator is actually the prey, as I suspect may be the case. These men likely do not have much occasion to see elves, after all. Here he comes. You brought many men to this meeting, friend. Do you think this will be enough? Where is Elro here going? That depends on your intentions. Why is he killing a buffalo? Come back here. That depends upon your intentions, as well you know. Oh, I intend a great deal, don't we, boys? We intend to bring back the heirs of Castamere. We intend to drive you elves back into the water, and Sand of Blood, and all that good stuff, and you're gonna die now. Really, I already had to go flex and kill a deer. No information then. We'll see you back at the city. Yeah, you just wanted to flex.
The heirs of Castamere and the Church of the All-Seeing ruled this city for many years.
But now their star has fallen so low that their supporters consist mainly of brigands and lawless thugs. They are no match for us as we are, Aloha, but they do not understand it.
So it was a trap, but it turns out it was a trap in which the ones who set it were the first caught.
That is a pity for them, but perhaps it will teach other supporters of the heirs of Castamere not to cause trouble for us in the days to come. Their mention of elves from the oasis is very interesting. I've not heard of elves living across the southern desert before. I could learn more about them, and I'm sure Elrohir feels similarly. It is most intriguing. I want a parry attack. All these are parry stuff.
What do you want?
The fruits of your labor. I'm looking to buy apricots, which is usually a very easy task here in the waterway markets, but I've not had any luck so far today. Will you help me find a market stall with the fruits for sale?
Leave me to my sorrows.
Apricots? Sadly, I usually carry these items. I can completely out of them today. Can I just use some oysters? Or some delicious beans? They were picked just this morning, you know.
What will become of us now?
Apricots? I do wish I had some of those to sell you, but sadly I do not. These are not the same taste, but I recommend you purchase some of my millet, rice, or chickpeas. They will form a basis of a delicious meal, and if you do happen to find apricots here in the waterway market, the fruits will be a welcome addition, but not the main course. Look at all the materials. So cool.
Umbar is a free city at last!
Apricots? No. Dates, figs, and grapes, however, yes and yes and yes. Why not purchase some of those instead? They are just as good, I assure you.
There is much to be done, and fewer hands by which to do it.
I never have apricots for sale. I am sorry. The reason for that is simple. Any that come into my possession are eaten immediately. I love the taste of them, you know, and buy them for myself at every opportunity. I tend to clear out the full supply of the fruits here at the waterway market most weeks. I apologize.
What do you want?
No apricots for sale anywhere? I'm not ready to give up. Can you check at the Dawn Market outside the city? It is located outside the eastern wall of Umbar Barabel, but it is too far for me to walk in these shoes. Will you take this money and purchase apricots for me if there are any to be found there? I need to find some place to sit down while you do this. My feet are killing me. Apricots?
Good day to you, traveler.
Of course. What sort of merchant would I be if I did not have such things? They were not picked today, so I hope you can excuse some light bruising, but they were plucked from the trees just yesterday. I still have them because not everyone with a taste for apricots always wants to make the journey outside the city to the Dawn Market. There is a vendor in Waterway Market who visits my stall every few days. You are fortunate she has not yet appeared today.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
You found me some apricots at the Dawn Market? I am pleased, really. Do not mistake me, but I have done so much walking around today, and I'm so very tired. I do not really want the apricots anymore. Now what I want is new shoes. But no, the money I might have spent on shoes went to apricots. I might as well enjoy them. Thank you for your help, my friend. I think I will just sit here and enjoy the fruits of your labor.
What news has come in with the tide?
Fathomwell fishing. Greetings, stranger. I would ask you to keep your voice down, but I do not think that will make a difference today. The fish have not been biting. This is the Fathomwell, where water from the bay runs into the great cisterns for use by the folk of Umbar Barabel. The fish swim in and become disoriented, which makes for good fishing for me and my companions most of the time. Perhaps not today. Will you cross to the other side of the fathomwell and ask Turks if he is having more good fortune on that side of the pool?
Fair winds to you.
How is the fishing over here? Why do you ask? Tarex looks at you suspiciously for a considerable length of time, paying no attention to the line he has cast into the fathomwell. You note that he appears to get not so much as a nibble. If Humas thinks he is going to do better than I am, he is better off staying where he is. You go tell him that.
Do you have need of something?
He says I should stay here? I don't trust those words. Does that mean he is having more luck on that side than I am over here? Or does that mean he is looking out for my own interests and believes I must be getting more fish upon my hook on this side? Perhaps you will go back to him and see if he is hiding anything from us. Is it possible he caught a great deal of fish and has hidden them somewhere nearby? You guys are way too suspicious.
Umbar is a free city at last.
You are back again? Humas thinks I have caught a great number of fish and have them hidden somewhere nearby. It does make sense. After all, he did that very thing himself the other day. I was so furious when I discovered it. Yes, this happens a lot. We come to the fathom well every morning, and some days he catches more fish than I do, and sometimes I have better luck than he. And often we send a helpful stranger back and forth across the pool to inquire about the other's fortunes. There really is no end to it, at least until the sun goes down, and then we each go back to our homes, and it all starts again the next day. I suppose I would miss it, but it seems today we are equally matched in ill fortune.
Might you spare a moment?
So he has no secret pile of fish today? That is good to know. Yes, we have been coming to the fathom well for years and years. My father brought me here when I was just a boy, and he would tell me stories of the city and its history. My favorites were always the ones with fighting, like when bloodthirsty Thorongil attacked and set the city aflame. Did you know that even the waters of Fathomwell could put out the fires? They burned for days, my father said. Taragas loved those stories too. I had forgotten. We used to fish on the same side of the pool, but at some point we became so competitive that we could not do that any longer. This is not an uncommon mood for me on days when the fish aren't biting. Thank you for helping me as you have. I appreciate it. I have Reached maximum standing. I'm still missing something.
What will become of us now?
Not one to back down. A corsair named Mutahir has kept this area of the Low Ward trembling in fear of him ever since he returned to the city. So, certain of his combat prowess is he that he has strung up bells throughout the gut, and has invited anyone who believes they can best him to ring one of these bells. He has knocked a number of challengers senseless in the week since he left the bells. If you think you can put an end to his tyranny, one of the bells is to the southeast of here. He has others throughout the gut as well, but he has never failed to respond to a challenge. Okay, here's a bell. Let's ring it. Ding ding ding! Now you must wait. Your challenge goes unanswered. Ding ding ding! Now you must wait again. Your challenge goes unanswered. Ring the last bell to the north. Ding ding ding! This challenge will surely be answered. Dr. Mutahir. Yes, I am Mutahir, but I do not think I want to fight you. As a matter of truth, I believe I will take down all the bells I have strung up around the lower ward. It seems a good way to make a name for myself, and indeed I have now done so. But I fear that were I to engage you in battle, I would perhaps find myself defeated, and I do not think that would add very much to my legend. I will leave the inhabitants of the lower ward alone, stranger. They will face no more challenges from Mutahir. You have my word? Okay. First time that's something like that ended without a fight. Worth the change of pace.
Leave me to my sorrows.
You challenged Mutahir and survived to tell the tale? This is very impressive. Thank you for putting an end to his reign over the gut. The folk of the lower ward feared to walk the streets when he was known to be out and about. I can still hear the tinkling of the bells, but no longer. Thank you, my friend. Still want to go explore up there. Guess we can't get into the arena. There does seem to, I don't know. There's something out there. Okay, so we've explored all of this. Let's go down here then. Actually, let's turn on my quest tracker. It'll show me, yeah. Okay. Still have that zone to do, that zone, and that zone. So, let's hop to it.
Do not bother me without good reason.
Putting goods to good use. There are 2 storehouses in the fleet, fast stranger, to the south and to the west, and they are full of supplies. How many rations do the guards at the citadel require? Not as many as they keep for themselves, I can tell you that. My friend says that there is such a surplus at each of those storehouses that crates and chests are even kept outside. The guards won't miss those, if you take my meaning. Bring me some of these surplus supplies and I will see that they are given to people who really need them, the people of the lower ward. They do no good for anyone if they simply take up space within the fleet fast. Remember, there are storehouses both to the south and to the west of the Stuna, the great dock of the ships in the water center. You should retrieve surplus goods from both. Okay, off we go. Must have missed a turn. Oh, okay, looks like there's a down area and an up area, but the down area is a dead end. Bring the supplies to Naja in the lower ward. She's not too far from here. so she moved. No, she's back there.
Umbar can be a dangerous city, friend.
You've done a good thing this day. I will put these goods to use. Good use. It is very good, my friend. It should not trouble the ear to hear one say so.
The fleet post is just beyond this gate.
The city. The Eyes of Nauriel. The fleet fast is just beyond this gate, Miloa, and it seems to be guarded. Still, if we are to rescue my son, we will need to penetrate its defenses. Can I ask you to become my eyes in there, and for you to linger by certain of the clay jars that stand at major crossroads within the fleet fast? When you do, be sure to note the number of guards and the patrol routes they take as they pass by. This information will help us craft a plan for making our way through the fleet fast when the time comes to rescue my Thorongil. Lingering. Observe the movement. Next one. Guards. You there. A guard of the fleet fast calls out to you.
You there! You cannot just linger like this in the fleet fast?
Do not make me haul you away to the goal, for I will do it. You ask the guard if any visitors are ever permitted into the island citadel, and he laughs. Oh yes, folk are allowed inside, but those folk need to have a personal invitation, and you don't have the look of someone who's likely to have that. Unless Azagoth invites you himself, I think you had better keep moving. You ask if Azagoth ever comes out of the citadel, and the guard raises an eyebrow. He does, for he is beloved by the people and sometimes walks among them. But if any harm should befall him on one of these strolls, I will look for you first, so you had better not try anything. No lingering in the fleet fast. I will not tell you again. Sir, yes, sir.
From your report, it appears the fleet path is well patrolled.
By guards loyal to the kindred of the coin, Miloa. Perhaps Cruel Dancer would be able to get inside the Citadel of the Winds, but for the rest of us, I will need to think of some other way. An invitation by Azagath himself seems unlikely. I will keep thinking. Alright. We're gonna ride a circle around here, because there were obviously some quests that I skipped right over. So we'll go hunting for quests. I want to see where this one goes. Some sort of keep or vault or something up here. Lots of dwarves.
Oh, the fleet master's well defended.
The city, the strategist, and the swan knight. The fleet fast is well defended, Miloa, and it will prove nearly impossible for one of us to walk around while remaining undetected. There are a number of places of interest that we should appraise for their military readiness. Can I ask you to conduct such an appraisal of the barracks and both the eastern and western ends of the bridge that spans the fleet fast? I would ask my husband Rosaran to do this, but his swan knight armor makes him stand out even more than you do. He took only a dozen steps before he was pulled aside by one of the guards. You are more likely to escape their notice. Okay. Nope, I missed the turn. You appraise the quality and number of guards that patrol the eastern end of the Fleet Fast Bridge. You appraise the number and quality of the guards that patrol the western end of the Fleet Fast Bridge. You appraise the readiness of the guards stationed at the Fleet Fast Barracks.
What have you learned of the defenses within the fleet fast?
You give your report to Brutus, and she thinks it over. I see. If I believed most of the Corsair martial forces had perished at Pelagier, it seems that the Kindred of the Coins has rebuilt them enough to man the fleet fast, at least, very effectively. A frontal assault upon the Citadel of Winds is, in my opinion, out of the question. I could not utilize Rozarin effectively in the fleet fast, so I sent him to conduct his investigation within the lower ward. Seek him out in the lower ward to the north and find out what he learned while he was there. Brutus suggested
I find some garb that would allow me to pass undetected within the fleet fast, but I refused.
It was not easy, but I do not want to skulk about in secret. If my swan knight armor is not welcome here, then neither am I. She was not pleased about it, but she sent me into the lower ward to learn what I could about our opponents. I cannot say that what I have discovered will be of use to us, but I was able to learn how the people feel about some of the various leaders among the Kindred of the Coins. Azagath and Bellandor are both well loved by the people, who give them a large portion of the credit for the Sea Stone Mutiny. That is the name given to the overthrow of the heirs of Castamere and the Church of the All-Seeing, when the oppressors of the Empire of Oradak were cast out of the city. Harmelech, the Golden Queen, is respected more than she is loved. She is one of the wealthiest people in Umbar, but the folk of the lower ward distrust her riches. Many of them believe she is indifferent to their plight, and would not spend a single coin on their behalf. Rothak the Storm is considered a champion of the lower ward, for no one lives there who has not heard of his exploits in the arena, or of the manner with which he dispatched many of the heirs of Castamere during the mutiny. They love him, but they fear him as well. Of the others I was not able to learn very much. I hope this information is of as much use to you as the recounting of the Fleet Fast's defenses are to Brutus. We shall see, I suppose. I will keep looking, Mloa. Slightly better. Not that better. Nah, I think I'll take the physical mastery, thank you. I got this bracelet as well. It feels worse than what I have. That's good. I think I downed that away. That's closed. That's a dead end. Well, it just wraps around there, so let's go back. Just enemies over here, no quests.
Speak quickly, my patience runs thin.
A valuable lesson. My ship has been overrun by mutineers, stranger. They will be dealt with, I assure, but time is short. You see, there is treasure still aboard the ship, and as it is my ship, the treasure is also mine by right. Will you fight your way onto my ship and retrieve my 3 chests of valuables? You will be rewarded, of course. My ship is docked to the east of here, and some of the ruffians are bruisers that now lurk here in the fleet fast, where once members of my crew. Feel free to slay as many of them as it takes to retrieve my treasures. She has a second quest also.
Do you want?
We'll grab that one as well. Mutineers and ruffians all. My former crew turned out to be mutineers and ruffians, all of them. They must think I perished when they threw me overboard, and I would not survive the swim back to shore. So, they are not only dishonorable, but they are fools too. Now they haunt this area of the fleet fast, and they stay here in great number that the guards fear to engage them in battle. But I do not fear them, and neither do you. Do you, my new friend? Some of them are tougher than they appear, but that will not be a problem for you, will it? Not if you ask nicely. I only have her word to take for that this is her loot. What have I gotten myself into?
Speak quickly, my patience runs thin.
Is there anything more lovely than being returned treasure that belongs to you? I do not think so, my friend. I would have brought the chests with me when need drove me to escape from those worthless villains. But I will be truthful with you. Mutinies may take a while to form, but when they do happen, they happen quickly. I am pleased to be reunited with these valuables. I will give you some valuable wisdom as reward. If you choose to captain a ship, do not hire a crew that believes themselves to be more deadly than you are. I think my former crew has now learned they were mistaken. Thank you for your assistance with them.
The winds today are most foul.
I heard the fighting from here, friend, and it was like beautiful music to hear the panic in the voices of those mutineers. You have done very well by me. Perhaps when I recover my ship, you will sail with me? I am already thinking of assembling a new crew, only days after my previous mates mutineered against me. I'm truly romantic at heart, my new friend. It has always been a problem. Thank you for your help with those ruffians and bruisers. We are more deadly than they are, and now they know it.
I asked around the city for information about it. The matter that brought us here.
The city. The short straw. But I learned something else. A good friend of mine, and Jajax's too, is locked up in the gaol here. His name is Itur, and he got up to much of the same thing as my brother and me. When my brother and I returned to the city, it was Itur who helped me escape from the notice of Kotek. It seems Itur was not so fortunate. Do you think you might ask the guard of the gaol if Itur is in good spirits, and when he may be released?
You are fortunate you spoke to me today, and so am I, for my coin purse is feeling a little light.
Who did you want to hear about? Itur? Yes, I know this prisoner. He was a corsair that managed to avoid sailing to the war with all the rest, which means he sails under lucky stars. But his good fortune must have run out, because he robbed the wrong person and ended up in the Fleet Fast Gaol. But he is not to be here long. I understand he has agreed to trial by combat in the Dahal Huluz, the arena of the gladiators. If he is victorious, there he will be released. If he is not, well, he will no longer take up any wall space in the gaol, if you understand my meaning.
trial by combat. Itor was no martial novice when I knew him, but
He was never especially skilled in combat. I think his success in the arena will depend upon the hulas against whom he is matched. Let us go to the arena and see if they have posted the matchups for the upcoming contests. All the way over there. Okay. Turns are too sharp after that market. Daxman's friend Itur is scheduled to battle Rothok, the Storm, in the arena.
Rothog the Storm? He is my favorite of all the hulis who fight in the arena.
How can you not have heard of him? He is a mighty half-troll who began as a precious pit fighter and rose to command a ship and crew of his own. The Crow Feeders, they were called, for a great mass of carrion birds followed in their wake. When Rothok crossed Balakor the Scourge, he found himself once again consigned to the arena, forced to fight his former crew and friends. Balakor thought he would die, but Rothok survived for more than a year, sometimes fighting as many as 10 bouts in a week. He became the favored champion of the people, and though Balakor commanded the master of the arena to execute the half-troll and be done with him, she refused the command. "Fight him yourself if you wish so badly to see him dead," I heard she answered. But before he could, Balakor sailed to his death in Gondor, and now Rothok belongs to the Kindred of the Coins, but he still fights in the arena because he enjoys it. Taking a quick bio break, we'll be back in 2 ticks. I am back. Hey, Jonathan. Alright, let's go talk to the visitors here.
I was in the stands of the arena the night of the rebellion.
When the kindreds of the coins came to power and cast off the shackles of Overdek and the Church of the All-Seeing, when the heirs of Castamere lost their grip on Umbar, the ground shook as we saw flames erupt away across the harbor. Rothok had been put to work fighting the few of his crow feeders that remained alive, as well as men who had defied the heirs. But that all changed when the whispered rumors became facts proclaimed. Magda Corbo, the temple of Sauron, had fallen. Rothok turned to face his opponents in the arena, and he spoke a single word. From where I stood I could not hear it, but as it was repeated by others it grew in volume and intensity, until the echo of that one word shook the very foundations of the arena. The word was Helsi, and when the uprising of the kindred was completed, Azagath's sea shadow found Rothok the Storm sitting in the seats reserved for the heirs of Castamere, surrounded by their half-eaten bodies. The half-troll did not join the kindred of the coins at once, but in time he did, and the people of the city love him. He still fights in the arena as often as he can, but now he does it for himself, and no other. What does Halsey mean? It means freedom.
Who are the two combatants about whom you speak?
Who are the two combatants about whom you speak? Rothok the Storm? You need not tell me the other name. Rothok never loses. This is not good for Dexamat's friend.
Oh, my friend Itor has to withdraw his request for trial by combat.
There is no possible way he can base Rothok the Storm in the arena. Perhaps if he was matched against someone else, he would have some hope of victory, but Rothok is the most dangerous Hulas to ever fight in the Tour Gardens. Itter could not have drawn a shorter straw than this. Take my money purse, Miloa, and hurry back to the goal. There is no time to waste. We have to get the guard to allow Itter to withdraw his request. All the way back there. I took a wrong turn. Oh well, we're going through the gut. The city is still very confusing to me. This is a dead end. Maybe? I'm so lost. Come on. This is why the War Siege is frustrated. Gets stuck on everything.
What's this? Back so soon?
You press Daxmat's money purse into the guard's hand, and he tests its weight. You want me to see if your friend will withdraw his request for trial by combat? That is not usually done, stranger. What makes you think he should? Ah, Rothak, eh? I understand now. I will see what I can do.
I am happy to report that your friend has withdrawn his request for trial by combat.
He does not want to remain imprisoned, but when I told him he had drawn Rothak as an opponent, he was unable to speak. Through the stammering, I was able to discern that he preferred remaining a guest of the Gull for a while longer. Until Rothak has retired, he may have said. But if I were a wagering man, I would not expect that to happen anytime soon. The half-troll master of the Tour Gardens loves fighting that much, even when there is no need for it. Our business is now done. I thank you for the donation to the Fleet Fast. Thank you, Miloa. I know Itur wanted to be set free, but I also know he would prefer to be alive than to face an unwinnable battle, and Rothak's reputation in the arena speaks for itself. I do hope you will take pity upon me if I need coin in the future. I gave the last of my money away as part of this endeavor, after all. It was worth it, was it not? Aye, surely it was worth it. But keep me in mind at mealtimes, Miloa, or I will waste away to nothing. Don't worry, Daxmat. I got your back, pal. Okay, now we gotta go talk to Kaibar and the Sail Havens. Still haven't been over there to the Citadel. Hey guys, I'm gonna take about a 5-minute break. Gonna just figure out what I am doing for supper, and then I will hopefully be back. See you soon. Alright, and I am back. Let's carry on. We have got to go to the Sail Haven. Let's go find Kaibar.
I hope the rest of the crew learns something valuable, for I have had a hard time of it.
I learned out over one of the railings and studied the citadel of winds from afar, but that place seems to be a fortress and impregnable. I cannot think of any way we will get inside, if that is where the kindred of the coins is holding the prisoners. I'm sorry. I'm feeling rather out of sorts. Someone bumped into me right before you arrived and I almost fell. Folk should watch where they're going.
Why are you staring at me like that?
Lamps in the night. You encourage Kaibar to check his belongings, concerned that he might have fallen victim to a pickpocket. He frantically searches his clothes for his money purse. Here it is, thank goodness. But as light as it ever is, I am sorry to say. But what is this? He retrieves an unfamiliar scrap of parchment from one of his pockets, and his eyes go wide as he reads the message written on it. It is a message from the cruel dancer, he whispers, handing it to you. Crocodiles outside city. Lamps in night, broken. Just enough for one, the dancer.
Do you think it means she's found a way to the prisoners?
Lamps in the night? Crocodiles? Kaibar thinks it over. I heard the crocodiles to the southeast of the city have been a problem for merchants trying to go that way. Maybe that is where we should start. But it sounds like only one of us should go. That must be you, right? Tell me that you think she means you. You're sure, Kaibar, that you will investigate the crocodiles outside the city by yourself, and he should continue his efforts in the Sail Haven. He breathes a sigh of relief and wishes you well. Alright. Let's go look for some crocodiles. Trying to figure out where I want to go over there. Okay. starting to get the hang of the map. Find the crocodile camp. Crocodiles to the southeast of the city. Okay. Now, where are the broken lamps? First time fighting crocodiles in Middle Earth. Woohoo! I like fighting these animals. Oh wow. That was scary. I technically don't have to kill all these, but oh well. Probably gonna be up top. Look at the monkeys. Ooh, ah. That's my impression of a monkey. Toppled lamp. You must face target. Back to the west of the rocks. Okay. Confront the person watching you to the west. Ah, there she is. Cruel dancer waves you over to her. I'm glad you received my message. I wondered after I left if it perhaps was too subtle for the scribe to realize it had been given to him. Our shared purpose is almost complete, Meloa. The line of lamps indicates the way to a secret harbor used by certain members of the Kindred of the Coins. I have reason to believe your prisoners are held within, and several of the bounties upon the Kindred are ripe for me to claim. Lair of the Beast. Here is what I know of this secret harbor. It has been the birth of the ship belonging to Tathata, the sea beast. But ever since Nakasi Wavereaper's husband perished in Gondor, she has used it for her own ship as well. I do not know for what reason she chooses not to dock in the city proper, but I believe we will find both vessels in the harbor when we descend. The way is treacherous, but we can use this rope to descend to the ledge we must take. It is narrow, with only room for one of us to pass at a time. Once you reach the far side of the ledge, there is a ladder that descends to the hidden harbor where our two targets keep their ships. You can go first down the rope. I will be right behind you. Despite your misgivings, you know that this may be your best chance to reach the Kindred's prisoners undetected. You resolve to remain alert in case Cruel Dancer attempts any treacherous action.
The ships are docked in this hidden harbor. Are the captains my targets to be found within?
You should follow the walkway to the west and investigate the first of the ships docked within the hidden harbor. I will circle around and come to it from the water, so we will have the advantage of surprise upon any members of the Kindred aboard the ship. I hear folk inside the ship, and even now we have attracted their notice. They approach from within. I will search below deck while you keep them busy up here. There were no prisoners within the ship, Meloa. If your mission is to succeed, and if I'm to claim the bounties I seek, we must hope the prisoners and their captors are aboard the second of the ships docked within this harbor. Follow the walkways to the second ship. I will approach the vessel by water as I did this one, and maintain the element of surprise. Coradan! There's the lions. Maloa? Is that you? I cannot believe it! But you must be careful. I hear Tefata coming back.
I thought I heard someone up here. Who are you talking to, Nestina Nesorna?
Who are you to stand so boldly upon the deck of my ship? There are few indeed who would dare such a thing, for I have sent most of those to watery graves. 1 second, guys. My pups need some attention. Maloa, I have heard this name before now. Nakasi has spoken of you to me. I'm surprised you are still alive. Were she still here instead of in the Citadel of Winds with a hostage from Penithgalen, she would no doubt skin you alive. She will be disappointed to learn she missed you. But why are you here? You cannot have come all the way to Umbar to take Nestin and the Sorne from us. It amused Nakasi to take him aboard our ships, but he says little enough to us, and when he does speak, his talk is mostly nonsense and riddles. The lions like him, which has kept him alive this long, but if they should get hungry, I believe they will like him both less and more. Tathata smiles languidly. I can speak in riddles too, you see. Cruel Dance arrives aboard the ship.
I've come to claim the bounty on your head!
So, this is not about rescuing your friends after all. Ha! I see what sort you are.
We are those who get what we want, Tathata!
I do not think so this time. More dangerous foes than you have haunted me before now.
Awaken my crew! Slay these foolish ones!
Yay, we get to fight a lion.
She's getting away! I will follow her. You save your friend.
I still cannot believe you came to rescue me, Miloa. Are our friends here too? You tell Coradan that you will recount your adventures to him just as soon as you untie him and bring him safely from Tathata's hidden harbor. With a grin, you say that Sigilith will be very pleased to see him alive and unharmed. He blinks at you with surprise.
Wait. What? My sister is alive?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the actual amphitheater.
I still cannot believe it.
I never believed I would see you again, and yet here you are. Such a great distance from where we parted. It is truly remarkable, and I delight that our reunion has come to pass.
Many months and more miles have passed since I saw you last at Helm's Deep in Rohan.
One prisoner rescued. You must have had many adventures since we parted, my friend. What brings you all the way to the land of Umbar? Many months and more miles have passed since I saw you last at Helm's Deep in Rohan. You tell Corodan briefly about some of the experiences you have had since his departure. He asks if you know how Leafshade fared after he went away. Then you say, as far as you know, the Ent remains in good health and spirits. He smiles fondly. I am glad. I do not doubt that he could have survived any attack by Nakasi or Tetheta if he was roused to battle, but I feared for the creatures of his grove and the trees for which he cared. I know the Ents are fearsome when enraged, but I cannot help but think something is lost when they are called to fight. Something in them is wounded. It is true for men and elves in my experience, and I think it may be so for Ents as well. They are meant for peace, for the care and tending of things that grow. I went with the Corsairs so they would not force Leafshade into battle. I sought to exert my influence upon them, and while I was not wholly successful, I think it was for the best. Save for my words, I fear the boy Thorongil would not have lived to reach Umbar. But where are our other friends, Miloa? Do you not still adventure with Horn, Nona, and Gleowine? Think about what to tell Corodan. How should you tell Corodan about some of the mournful events that transpired?
Why do you hesitate, my friend? What has happened?
Sadly, you tell Corodan of Horn's death before the walls of Minas Tirith during the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. The elf remains silent for a long moment. When at last he speaks, his voice is choked with emotion, and he does not sound like himself. Horn always possessed more courage than he believed himself to have, Miloa. I hope that Nona holds this memory dear. Know that I will. I know this too. Gleowine must record the name of our friend in song, for he fought for Rohan, and though I was not there, I know he fought with courage on behalf of his friends and for his kingdom. You tell Corodan that Gleowine did intend to include Horn in the song he composed of the battle, and the elf smiles. After a moment, Sigilith speaks up.
I will not have it said that I abandoned the mission when it was half done.
My purpose for joining this adventure has now been satisfied, but I will not have it said that I abandoned the mission when it was half done. My brother has been rescued from the kindred of the coins, as I knew he would be, but they still hold the young heir of Penathgillen captive. Corodan laughs. I'm ready for more, my sister. Virtue capped reached.
I and my brother will stand with you to rescue Thorongil.
Okay, that's the next chapter. Before we do that, I see there's a quest bearer here. Okay.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Walking up a sweat. This is a grand place for concerts and gathering of large groups, it is true, but it also serves another purpose. A few months ago, I was drowsing on one of the seats here when the sun rose. To my great surprise, who should I see descending the steps but Tetheta, the beast herself, kinswoman of the lower ward. She is a towering, imposing figure, if you have ever seen her. You know she is not a woman with whom you should trifle, but on this morning she was not alone. She was walking two of her great hounds, the ones named Nauriel and Josie, around the amphitheater. They worked up quite a sweat, the three of them, conducting great circuits of the structure. And it gave me an idea. If I did as Tetheta did, would I develop into physical a specimen as she? So I've been coming here and walking down the steps, across the way, up the steps again, and following the curve of the seats back here. You should do the same. Why not make 3 circuits of the amphitheater, friend? Be sure to start by running down the steps to begin. Okay. Walking down the steps, going across, and up the steps. And then around.
Umbar is a free city at last.
Is that not a tremendous way to begin your day, my friend? I have found it to be so ever since I adopted this means of exercise. I have not seen Tathita or her hounds out this way in several weeks. Perhaps they are at sea again or on some errand for the kindred. There was a time she would walk through the lower ward, and you could observe the crowds parting before her and her dogs wherever she went. They were friendly and would not bite, of course, although the same might not be said for Tathita. Just a little joke, friend. Perhaps you will do me the favor of keeping that one to yourself, but you are welcome to come back or walk around the amphitheater whenever you like.
I and my brother will stand with you to rescue Thorongil.
Asking questions. I and my brother will stand with you to rescue Thorongil, Miloa. Will we not, Korodan? Or have you had your fill of this place already?
I will stand with you.
Not only because of your rescue, and not only because of the adventures we shared in the kingdom of Rohan, I will stand with you because it is right. I was not mistreated by the kindred of the coins, despite Nakasi's words and her frequent promises to exact revenge upon any who aid Gondor. At sea, I was given permission to walk freely about the ship, and I followed her commands quickly and well. Did my captivity chafe? I cannot say it did not, but I felt it was in service of a noble purpose, and that was enough. Tathita suggested I be allowed to walk freely about the ships and the harbor when we docked, but the Wayfreeper feared my servility was an act and commanded her kinswoman to keep me tied to the mast while Nakasi was away. I cannot tell you with complete certainty if she was right, Miloa. But I can tell you this. The kindred of the coins value their captives only for as long as they retain value. Had I proven a burden or unmanageable, I think I would not have survived the voyage to Umbar. It may be the same with the young heir of Peneth Gillen. If he loses his value as a hostage, I believe he will not long survive the kindred's company. Nakasi brought him to Azagath, Sea Shadow, and the Citadel of Winds, from where the kindred rule the city. I will help you as I can, but how do you intend to enter the most well-guarded district of Umbar Barabel?
When my brother and I returned to Umbar, his plan had been for us to visit some of the taverns.
and inns of the city so we could learn what had happened while we were gone, recruit a larger crew, and Judge X could acquire a more suitable ship. That plan ran into some trouble, but I think at its heart it was still a good idea, because at taverns people speak more freely. If there is any way into the Citadel of Winds, someone at one of the taverns may unknowingly speak of it. I hope I am not being too forward with this suggestion, but it makes sense to me, Miloa. If everyone splits up and checks different taverns in the city, we have way more quickly learn of a means of rescuing Thorngil from Azagath. Okay, back to the city we go. Why do I feel like this is where the final battle is gonna take place in the raid? Maybe this is up top. I can't remember. Okay. You found the Hungry Deep Tavern, a popular eating and drinking establishment.
I am worried for our rulers.
I heard a rumor that the widow of Balakor, the Scourge, has offered bounties on the leaders of the kindred of the Queens, and even now her trained killers are loose in the city. They say no one has been seen to Molda Fiercewater in weeks, and even Tathata the beast is missing. She often walked the streets of the lower ward, her fighting hounds by her side, but I cannot remember the last time she did. We owe the kindred much for dealing with the heirs of Castamere and releasing us from the shackles of Ordak. I hope they are all right.
The Hungry Deep Tavern is the finest in the city, if you ask me.
Every time I come here, I eat too much. The kindred of the Queens, they mean well, and if you ask me, they have done right by us, but I think they keep secrets from us all the same. 7 of them there are. You know that, but there has been a turnover among their ranks since the uprising. Some say Guildmaster Imika was in league with the heirs of Castamere, and Tathata was right to replace her in the kindred, but I don't know. And there was another, a scholar whose name I misremember. Whatever happened to him? He ruled in the Tour Gardens, but now he is gone, and that half-troll Rothok has his place in the kindred. He frightens me. Oh, when I eat too much, I also speak too much. Favor me and tell no one of these things I have said. You've discovered the Welk and Cockle Tavern is not as busy as the Hungry Deep.
I am not one for gossip, friend, but I have heard a thing or two about the kindred of the coins.
That you might find interesting. For the right price, that is. As you consider how you might get this man to tell you what he knows without having to part with too much coin, his eyes suddenly widen. I have to be going. I know nothing. Nothing. What has caused this sudden stillness? Ah, there's Rothok. Rothok the Storm has come to the Sail Haven.
You!
Maloa. Rothok stares down at you impassively, his face a mask. Hermelek wants to see you, he says.
Harmalak wants to see you.
This is getting interesting now. An audience with the Golden Queen. I take you to see her, Rothok continues. Some of the nearby people stare at you and the half-troll member of the Kindred of the Coins, many of them backing away or preparing to run if his attention turns to them. Now, Maloa, Hermelek does not take to be kept waiting.
Thank you, Rothog.
Hermelek studies you silently for a moment. When she speaks again, her lips turn upwards in a faint smile. Welcome to Umbar Barabel, Maloa. I could have invited the others of your group, but I prefer to speak to you alone about this matter. You understand? It is not often that I have the opportunity to speak to such as you. It is the matter of our hostage that brings you here, I understand. You keep your expression guarded, but Hermelek's smile becomes more pronounced. Koltek prides himself upon knowing everything that transpires in the city, but he does not share everything with us. I have eyes of my own, and they see a great deal at the variety of interesting places outside the Gaul and the Fleet Fast, by the home of Bellandor and Meshka, and my very own upper ward, among the alleys of the Sail Haven. Your group has not remained hidden to my eyes, Maloa, and I know why you have come to my city. Let us continue our discussion by the fountain of my courtyard.
You stand in the presence of one of the wealthiest people in all of Umbar.
But know this, wealth does not grant complete power. How many of my rivals had riches but lacked the will to maintain their control? Now their wealth is mine. The folk of the city whisper that my fortune rivals that of many dwarf lords, but their whispers are untrue. My fortune exceeds that of even the dwarf kings. I am the matron of the most powerful merchant clan in Umbar, and we trade in all manner of expensive goods, from across the Hardwaith, spices, jewels, silks, artwork, even the relics of ancient days. I was widowed when I was young, and my husband's brothers sought to gain control of the family business. They failed. It takes an iron will to prosper as I have. Did I not witness Mut Tadul, the death of light, when I was but a young girl? I knew the evils of the Church of the All-Seeing from a young age, but I saw too the value of maintaining the appearance of cooperation. In public, I allied with Orogdai occupiers, and then with the heirs of Castamere, but always I worked secretly against them. Quietly I set a network of those opposed to the interlopers endangering my city. It brought me into contact with some of who shared my goal of making Umbar Barabel a free city. Azagath and Belendor, Koltek of the Temamir, and smugglers Tumuldo and Nakasi. When Belkor perished in the war and the power of the heirs of Castamir was broken, I knew the time had come to act. We will speak of it further in the garden to the north.
The kindred of the coins was my idea, inspired by the Corsair councils that once governed Umbar.
Between the reigns of tyrants, a king or a queen or a steward can begin with the best of intentions, but they can be corrupted. They can make the wrong choice, but a group can guard against such wrong choices. A group can see all the sides of a problem. In a city such as Umbar Barabel, only a council can lead effectively for the good of all. That was my idea, Maloa. A council of leaders that would not be subservient to any outside force. Not Gondor, not the Empire of Ordak, nor the Dark Lord Sauron or his servants. During the rule of the heirs of Castamir and the Church of the All-Seeing, I asked Koltek to fashion 7 medallions in the form of large coins that could be worn as necklaces. Each was made of a different material, signifying our disparate backgrounds and influences, but each had something in common. Koltek embedded a shard of Abishal, the valuable sea opal treasured by his people, into each coin. Only days after Belkor perished in Gondor, a tremendous quake rocked the city. The temple of Sauron crumbled and fell into the earth, and I knew it was time to act. I sent the medallions fashioned by Koltek to my chief allies, and the uprising began. The Sea Stone Mutiny would spell the end of outside authority over Umbar, that of Ordak, that of Gondor, that of Sauron. The kindred of the coins would make Umbar Barabel a free city again. Let us speak further in my office. Azagath is a black Númenórean and blood ally of Belkor during the Scourge's rise to power. Their friendship soured when Belkor sought to claim rulership over all of Umbar in the name of the heirs of Castamir. Azagath opposed his bid, a duel was fought, and Azagath suffered defeat. He received a scar upon his face and pled for mercy. It was granted and he was banished. We did not see him for many years, and during that time Azagath's warnings were proven true. I called for his aid during the Sea Stone Mutiny, and when he returned to the city, he did so as a beloved hero. Haduru, they called him, he who returned. There was no celebration for me, Maloa. I never fled the city, so I had no need to return a hero. I was here always, steadfast, unyielding. The kindred was my idea, but when the 7 of us cast our lots for who would lead us, it was Azagath who prevailed. He is charming, any can see that, and the others believed he could more easily inspire the Umbari people than I could. I have been patient through all these troubles. Is that not inspiring? Harmelech stares at you with eyes of ice, and despite her words, You can tell that being passed over for leadership of the kindred bothers her more than she is willing to say. Do not misunderstand me. I would be content for any to lead us if he or she held dear the interest of the city, Maloa. But I think it is not so for Azagath. He has some plans of his own, a secret he keeps from the rest of us, the song of waves and wind. I know not what it is, but it cannot be in the interest of my city. Alright guys, dinner is about here, so I am gonna call it here for today. We are nearing the end of our journey, and I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow to see the end of this. Good night.